Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. Before I get started with today's episode, if you guys haven't seen already, I reached 20,000 subscribers today, so just wanted to take some time to say thank you. I posted a thank you video actually an hour ago or so, so check that out if you have not seen it already, but I really owe it all to you guys. It means so much, and whether you've been here since the beginning or whether you've discovered me recently because of my Oris videos, thank you all so much. I'm so excited to what this year has in store for us, and it should be awesome, and it's been an amazing journey. I'm going to be having a celebration stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/CybertronVGC, so I really hope to see some of you there. Anyway, today we'll be starting up another episode of Road to Rank, and unfortunately, as you see there, my rating did drop a considerable amount. I decided I wanted to play off stream, or off YouTube, and try to climb back up to 1900, or not back up, but I ended up falling a considerable amount, which was really frustrating. So now I'm basically gonna record all my games, I think, even on for YouTube. I'm not going to bother playing off of screen because I did miss a bunch of really good games that I wanted to get in despite them being losses, and I think posting losses are even more important than wins. But my opponent here has a really interesting team: Tyranitar, Sandslash, Scizor, Salamence, Cresselia, and Amoonguss. Obviously the Sandslash there is fascinating to me. Otherwise, a very VGC 2013-esque team. Reminds me a lot of Junpei Yamamoto's team, actually, in 2012, which he brought to the World Championships and finished in the top 8 with. That team had things like Salamence, Cresselia, Tyranitar as well. He doesn't have a great way to stop Intimidate, and he's definitely got a Trick Room option there with the Amoonguss. Zapdos having Safety Goggles can actually really help me out in this match, and I do have Heat Wave. So Safety Goggles Heat Wave can really knock out the Scizor and Amoonguss, which I'm happy to see. 3 potential Megas in Scizor, Tyranitar, and Salamence, but if I had to hedge my bets, it's going to be Tyranitar, Salamence. It's kind of rare to see Mega Scizor nowadays. Heatran here is pretty good, though the Sandshrew is obviously really scary. I'm going to lead with... Hydreigon is a really solid lead, actually. Hydreigon Kang is not bad. Hydreigon Zapdos also isn't bad. Hydreigon Heatran's also... Actually, Hydreigon Heatran's really good. I'm gonna want Kang in the back, and for my last one... Zapdos is nice, but it hates going up against Tyranitar. This is tough. I want to bring all my Pokemon. Landorus can hit 4 of the 6 for super effective, but it's scared of Ice Beams. Conkeldurr here is also really good, but... I think I'm between Zapdos and Conkeldurr. And I'm leaning towards Zapdos to make my Amoonguss matchup a bit better. Yeah, you know what? I'll go with Zapdos. I'm not sure if my opponent's even going to bring Tyranitar, given how many ways I have to counter it, but we'll see. But I'll see if the Sandshrew comes into play. That's the one I'm most curious. Because obviously that's not a Pokemon you see ever used in VGC. So I'm going to go with Hydreigon and Heatran, which I feel like is a relatively safe lead, because I can sub in case he decides to lead with Amoonguss. And he leads with Salamence and Cresselia. So that's actually a really solid lead matchup for me. Because I could just Draco Meteor Salamence since I'm Scarfed and substitute with the Heatran. Even if he goes for the Protect, I'm fine with that. I get a free substitute up. There's really not much he can do in this position. Unless that's Scarf Salamence. Even if it is, though, he's probably going to knock out Hydreigon, and Heatran's going to get a free substitute. And Heatran is one of the best ways to go up against opposing Cresselia. So, I'm glad I led with Heatran here. This is a pretty optimal lead matchup. But he is actually going to switch out Cresselia. Let's see what comes back in. That looks like Tyranitar to me. Yep. Excuse me getting a notification there. I'm fine with Tyranitar switching in, though that does make my opponent's matchup a bit better. Salamence here is going to Mega Evolve. The question is whether it's going to attack or protect. Let's see. Regardless, though, Heatran getting a sub here is awesome. Salamence does make the safe protect play, so good move on my opponent's end, but at least I get the free substitute here up with Heatran. Though seeing the Salamence or the Tyranitar come in, I kind of wish I had Conkeldurr in the back, but you know what? Can't complain, I guess. So, turn of Sand damage there, as Heatran heals a bit back from the leftovers. Let's see, given what I've got in the back, Kangaskhan's great here. I'm not sure how fast his Salamence is. I might just go for another Draco Meteor, because he doesn't know I'm Choice Scarfed. And, so I've got Zapdos and Kangaskhan in the back, so I'm just gonna Earth Power the Tyranitar here. Let's see what my opponent goes for. I have been using Scarf Hydreigon a lot, and I really like it because of its speed, but I'm not sure how much speed that Mega Salamence is running. So it's actually going to switch out, so my opponent's playing really safely right now, but whatever's coming in is... That Crest is going to take it Draco to its face, which I'm fine with. But that was smart, because I think now my opponent can... that was basically a good way to scout out what item I have on my Hydreigon. Unless his Tyranitar is slower, but you go straight for the low kick into Hydreigon. I actually hang on with 21 HP, which is very nice, and Heatran gets the Earth Power off as well. Let's see how much damage this does. Probably not more than, yep, under 50%. No special defense drop there either. So kind of trading off damage there, which is fine. Heatran's still hiding behind the sub, which is obviously fantastic. And then Kangaskhan can come in relatively free in the towards the later of the match. I'm tempted to protect with Heatran here and just Draco the Crest for more damage, though I might also want to switch out to Zapdos. Or I could double up into Tyranitar with the Draco and an Earth Power. Though at -2, I'm not sure if I can actually do enough damage for Earth Power to KO. Crest being in here is not really a threat, though. Let's see. I do want Tyranitar gone because that makes Zapdos coming in a lot better. So I'm gonna Draco. I'll Draco Crest and I'll protect with Heatran to scout out what my opponent wants to do here. In case Cresselia wants to set up Trick Room, Heatran's actually slower than Tyranitar as we saw earlier. So Hydreigon's just gonna get a final blow off before it faints. And this should allow me to switch into Kangaskhan freely. And Draco's not gonna do too much there. Let's see if that Crest has Citrus Berry. Yep. So the common item we see there on Crest. I'm thinking maybe I should have attacked there instead, but he goes for the low kick into Heatran and goes for the Swagger. Which in perspective makes sense, you know, eliminate my potential of attacking, reduce my chances, but it's kind of annoying to deal with. However, now I get a free switch into Kangaskhan, which I've got in the back, which is fantastic. Especially because I can Power Up Punch. But I'm playing down still, of course. So I'm going to Power Up Punch the Tar here and just Heat Wave. It's a relatively safe play. We're actually going to see Tyranitar come out, which is really good because I'm guaranteed a free +2 from this Power Up Punch. So I'm actually really happy about that. It's going to take a Power Up Punch and a Heat Wave. And even though, you know, Salamence resists his attacks, with Sandstorm and Sucker Punch, I should be able to just Sucker Punch Salamence for the KO next turn. But Salamence is really bulky, so let's see. As Kangaskhan gets the free +2 there. What does Crest go for? Heat Wave is going to come out before Crest even attacks. Hopefully it doesn't Swagger Kangaskhan, that would be really obnoxious. Okay, it just goes for the Psychic, which I'm really happy about. Shouldn't do too much damage there. More than you'd expect, but I'll take that. So that's perfectly fine with me. Honestly, I can just Sucker Punch Salamence and Heat Wave here. There's really no downfall to that. I'm just gonna make that play, yeah. I think Salamence is gonna protect here, and Cresselia is gonna try to get an attack off, but I'm just gonna play it safe here. And there's really no need to go for any predictions. Though I guess I could have Power Up Punched Crest, but Kangaskhan being at +2 at this point already is good enough. And this Heatran is really helping me out right now. Hiding behind a Substitute is really nice. That's why I like Substitute as the last move on Heatran. Normally you see Heat Wave, excuse me, Earth Power, Protect, and Flash Cannon I think right now is one of the more common attacks to hit the Fairy types. But the thing is, Heatran walls Fairy types really hard already, so I don't see much of a need for that. But my opponent here is taking a while to make their plays. So the question is whether Salamence switches out, stays in, protects, or goes straight for the attack. And obviously if it just attacks, it's going to feint to a Sucker Punch. But Heatran outspeeds Cresselia anyway, so even if Salamence protects, Heat Wave should knock out the Cresselia. Cresselia actually switches out, and that was kind of what I was saying to myself. I think I could have Power Up Punched that slot in anticipation of Tyranitar coming in. And he does go for the Protect, so I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't, because the Protect with Salamence was really obvious. This is kind of one of the cases where I put myself into a really good position, but then suddenly, you know, momentum shifts a bit. The Heat Wave does a nice amount there. I think Earth Power might actually be enough to knock it out there. Sandstorm subsides as well, so Earth Power definitely should knock it out. I can just Sucker Punch an Earth Power here, but the thing is... Actually, Salamence can't really touch Heatran, unless it has, like, Earthquake, but then... I'm just gonna Protect and Earth Power the Tyranitar. I haven't revealed Protect on my Kangaskhan yet. Salamence switches out, so I'm expecting him to target my Kangaskhan here with a low kick as Cresselia comes back in. You know, you'd anticipate Salamence switching out, so Sucker Punch fails, and then Salamence can come back in and sweep. Low kick into Kangaskhan. Perfect. As Earth Power comes out. So this Heatran is just doing lots of work right now. And that should KO the Tyranitar, as it does. Sweet, so I've still got this +2 Kangaskhan out. Even if he switches out his Salamence, I can just Sucker Punch it to KO range. So, this Power Up Punch really saved me early on, and we're going to see Salamence come back out. And now, like I said, I can just Sucker Punch and Heat Wave, and there's really not much my opponent can do to avoid that. I'm just going to go for it. Even if we see another Protect out from the Salamence, at this point the sub Heatran is doing so much work. And Salamence is just going to go for the attack here. Let's see if +2 can KO given how bulky it takes it out there actually with the critical hit, so fortunate crit there, but I don't think it really mattered. Even if it did, he probably would have KO'd Kangaskhan, but Heatran would have been able to knock out both with Heat Wave. So this Heatran has picked up 2 knockouts in this game and has not lost its substitute yet with another critical hit there, also useless. So this is a fantastic, really, for my team, obviously. This Kangaskhan Heatran combo is just sweeping through. As Scizor is my opponent's last one, so bringing Heatran was definitely the right call in this match. Actually, yeah, I'm glad I had Zapdos in the end, I think. I mean, it didn't matter much, but now I can just Sucker Punch and Heat Wave. There's no way a Scizor beats a Heatran, as my opponent forfeits there. So, Heatran, the real MVP of today, the first match of the day, as it was able to really sweep through there, which is fantastic. So, that was a really nice match. I think it showcases the power of Substitute Heatran, and it's just so good once you get it behind a sub. So, if you guys need a Steel type to challenge the fairy types, I'd recommend Heatran. I actually put it onto this team because Sylveon gave my team a lot of trouble. I had Bisharp over that originally. I also had Mawile over Kangaskhan, but I didn't like Mawile because it was too slow. I'm much more of a bigger fan for Mawile under Trick Room, so I just put Kangaskhan because it's one of the easier Pokemon to play with, and I know I said I will be testing new Mega soon, so stay tuned for that, but I'm just trying to finish the season strong for Battle Spot. So, 1828 rating now, slowly climbing back up. Like I said, I did fall down a bit, but, you know, 1900 is still perfectly in reach, especially if we have 5 days to get there. But, yeah. I'm sad my opponent didn't bring Sandslash in that last match, though. Second opponent of the day is going to be Colin with a rating of 1616 from New York, which is, I'm always excited to see since I am from New York as well. Colin's got a team of Heatran, Amoonguss, Whimsicott, Kangaskhan, Zapdos, and Malamar. I really hate playing against Malamar, and my opponent has their own Heatran there. We've got 3 of the same Pokemon with Zapdos, Kangaskhan, and Heatran as well, which is kind of interesting. Of course, the thing with Malamar and its ability Contrary is that if I lead with Landorus, I actually give it a free +1 boost, but you know, Landorus is still really good against my opponent's team, that's the thing. Let's see. Honestly, I am tempted to still lead with Landorus, though Zapdos might be. Zapdos is a good call here too, because I've got safety goggles to prevent myself from Amoonguss shenanigans. Let's see. Conkeldurr is really good against everything except for Malamar. Malamar is actually the biggest threat right now. So... But I've got U-turn with Landorus too, right? So it's not that bad leading with it. Though I think my biggest fear is something like Kangaskhan Malamar. He fakes out, and you know what? I'm gonna go Zapdos Landorus. Even if he goes so with the hit of the Malamar, I can still paralyze everything. Kangaskhan in the back for sure. Do I want Kang really in this match? Conk is really nice here. But Hydreigon's nice too. Heatran is nice too. I want all these Pokemon. I think I'm gonna keep Heatran out though. I don't want to risk the speed ties against his Heatran. So the real question is whether I want Conkeldurr or Hydreigon, or whether I actually want to bring in Kangaskhan. But Kangaskhan being able to outspeed Malamar is kind of nice. I'm leaning toward Conkeldurr as this last one. Yeah, I'll go with Conkeldurr. It just kind of beats my opponent's entire team. But I do have to avoid the Amoonguss sporing it, because that's one of the more annoying things to deal with. But this should be interesting. Malamar is one of the more interesting Pokemon, I think, in VGC in general. So he does lead with the Malamar, which was, like I said, something I was afraid to see, because I'm going to give it the boost. But Choice Band U-turn can still knock it out, I think. Which is why I wasn't really worried about giving it the boost right away. Let's see. Here I could just U-turn out and T-Bolt Zapdos, honestly. Because then Kangaskhan can knock out the Zapdos. But the issue is if he can protect an HP Ice, which is my biggest fear right now. You know what, I'm just going to go for it. Oh, he does have Hidden Power! And he's faster than my Landorus, so is that Scarfed? Oh my gosh. Wow. Wasn't anticipating that for sure. So Zapdos gets the T-Bolt off, but at what cost? And Malamar gets the +1 knockoff off as well. That's really bad, because it gets rid of my safety goggles. But now I get a free switch into Kangaskhan, which is good. And Zapdos is not really too concerning to beat. I'm thinking of doubling up on Malamar here with a T-Bolt and a Double Edge. But I also kind of want to Roost. But I can't allow that Malamar to KO me, so you know what? I'm just going to go for the KO right now. And that Zapdos is going to switch out because, like I said, it is Scarfed. So let's see what comes back. Amoonguss coming in here, which I'm actually happy to see because I've got... actually, no, Safety Goggles no longer is on Zapdos because he knocked it off. So that was a nice play by the Malamar there. Let's see if it protects here. If it doesn't protect, then it's going to just get KO'd, I think. But Malamar does protect. So a good play on my opponent's end there as I double up uselessly into there. So that's troubling for sure. This is bad. No doubt in my mind we're gonna see a Rage Powder, but I think if I were my opponent, I'd Rage Powder and Super Power the Kangaskhan. So in anticipation of that, I'm gonna protect Kangaskhan with the and Heat Wave just to get some damage off immediately. Yep, Amoonguss does go for the Rage Powder, as expected. Zapdos gets the Heat Wave off. Oh, misses. Oh. That's lame. That's definitely annoying to deal with. Double miss there. I mean, obviously, I wasn't in a good position to start off with, but... I'll go for another Heat Wave, but the thing is, once I lose Kangaskhan, I'm kind of done for. I don't have many options, though. Except for maybe hoping for a Heat Wave burn. You know what, I'm just gonna Double Edge Amoonguss and Heat Wave, as it just goes for another Rage Powder. That miss is annoying. So Kang's gonna go for the Double Edge here. Onto the Shroom. And it's Rocky Helmet too. So it just got all the annoying things. Yeah, I don't think the miss really... I mean, I was already playing down after the HPI, so I really need to start anticipating that more from Zapdos is. Now I just assume they don't have it, which is kind of a silly thing to do. Amoonguss is going to faint here, but he's just going to get a superpower off against Kangaskhan. And then his Zapdos can just come back in for free. So Malamar's attack and defense rate is going to increase there, so that's +2 already. So leading with Landorus was not a very good idea, because I should have anticipated Scarf HPI Zapdos. It's very rare, but it makes sense on a team like this. So Conkeldurr's going to come back in here. Power of Malamar is real, though. Zapdos is going to come back as well. You know, I'm going to Thunder Wave the Malamar and just hope for some... shenanigans at this point, and I'll just Drain Punch it as well. Zapdos isn't really concerning me. Actually, I should have Ice Punched Zapdos. It's probably gonna T-Bolt. Let's see. Yep, it does T-Bolt my Zapdos. Most Malamars carry Lumberry, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Lumberry here. Yep. There you go. As the Psycho Cut comes out, that should knock out my Conkeldurr at +2. Oh, but it hangs on with 37 HP. That's cool. And it gets a Drain Punch off. Let's see how much damage it does. A minuscule amount. There's really no way I can win this. I'll Roost and Ice Punch, but that Malamar crushed me. As T-Bolt comes out, yeah, that's going to knock out Zapdos, and Psycho Cut's going to knock me out, so... very nice team on my opponent's end. Scarf's HPI Zapdos and Malamar, catching the surprise KO onto my Landers on the first turn. Which is very, very nice. I really like teams like that because in best of one, you can just really catch your opponent off guard. So Colin's going to take that win as we end the episode today with a 1-1. So rating is still currently in the 1800s, but slightly lower. So I really got to get my act together and hope we finish strong. I think I am actually going to work on a better team for the future episodes. Because recently I've been just throwing Pokemon together and playing with them. But as a result, it does result in some synergy gaps. So I'm going to aim for that in tomorrow's episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be streaming tomorrow night from 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you tune in there. Otherwise, that's it for today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.